welcome to my channel, Andra Makes, and I'm so excited to share with you the things I made in June. As you can see, I have a lot of stuff behind me that I've made and I'm excited to share it with you. And the first thing I'd like to share is the June mini quilt that I made a couple years ago. It's popsicles, cherry, grape, and orange, my favorites. And I did the applique with my embroidery machine and also the letters with my embroidery machine. So that's my mini quilt for June. The first garment I'd like to share is a hack, and it wasn't part of my June plans because at the time I did my June plans video I wasn't planning on doing this, but backstory, I made a Patine dress by Tilly and the Buttons last year, and here are the line drawings for it. And you make it with woven fabric and you attach the bodice to the skirt with elastic, and the bodice of the dress was too small but the skirt still fit fine, and I will insert a picture of it right here so you can see what it looked like. And as you can see, the skirt part had a very pretty border print, and that was my first time sewing with a border print. And I really loved it and I wanted to save it. So all these months I've been kind of mulling over what I could do to save that, and then it finally hit me. I knew I couldn't use another woven for the top because obviously it was too small, and I knew I needed to use a knit. So I started looking through my stash and I found this unlikely pairing if you just go by the pattern envelope, and this is from 2000 and I got it at a thrift store, and I've had it in my stash for a while, but as you can see it's a tank top and I knew that would work. So I wanted navy to go with the border print in the skirt, and I found a perfect shade of navy knit fabric at Joann, and here's the dress I made. Well, let me tell you first, I unpicked the bodice from the skirt and took them apart and had them separately, and I measured the length of the bodice because that's what I knew the length of my new bodice would need to be. So here's the dress. Stand up, and I'm going to show everything as best I can on hangers, but then I'll also insert pictures of me wearing it so you can get a better look. But here's the navy knit, and here's the skirt, the fab pockets and the border print. Here's the bottom, and then here's the back. And what I did was, like I said, I just cut the pattern piece of this knit top to match the length of the woven bodice top because I knew that that was the length that I needed. And I cut these strips of the same fabric that from the bodice to use for this contrast around the neckband and the sleeve. I thought that was really neat. And also this knit pattern has bust darts. I had never heard of a knit top needing bust darts. Have you? And I thought, how in the world are you going to do darts on a knit? Because when you sew with knits you need a stretch stitch. So I'm like, how am I going to do that? So I googled it, of course, and I saw a few blog posts and things about how to do it, and the common denominator in all the posts was to use a longer stitch length, just a straight stitch, but make sure it was longer. And then another person recommended not only to use the long straight stitch, but to use a water soluble stabilizer that you use for embroidery, and I have some of to put that over the lines that you draw for the bust darts so you can it's clear and you can see through it. So I did that, and I used the longer stitch length, and it worked out fine. There are my darts. Let me get close so you can see. But I just thought that was so interesting to sew darts on knits. But anyway, here's another example of looking past the picture that's on the envelope cover, and just by changing your fabric you can totally change the look of a pattern. So there's my hacked Patine dress, and here is a picture of me wearing it so you can see what it looks like on. Next, I'd like to share this McCall's top, and I'm going to be referring to my plans video probably a lot just for context, so I apologize about that. But I was wanting to make athletic wear, and I wanted to use this pattern because I already had it, even though it's not specifically designed for athletic wear, and I wanted to do the color blocking and everything. And I asked you guys if you thought it'd be a good idea, and everyone said yes, so I went for it, and here it is. So tickled with it. And one side of the fabric is matte and the other is shiny, and I didn't want shiny all over, but I did add the shiny. I added sleeve cuffs, of course. This isn't part of the pattern, but you know I love adding some sleeve bands. And then I used the shiny for the neck band and the shiny for the hem band. And the pattern doesn't call for a hem band either, but of course I added that. And I have made a couple of these tops in the past using just regular knit fabric, and this pattern is designed to be fitted. And anytime I see anything that says it's fitted, I always size up at least one size, sometimes two, because I prefer a looser fit. So I already had the larger size cut out of that pattern, and even on this, even though it already had the larger size cut out, I just used the presser foot of my serger as a guide, so I didn't use the full 5/8 seam allowance because I don't like anything really fitted, especially active wear. And there's my top, so I'm so tickled with it. And to go with it, I made these leggings, and I made View D, and as you can see it has the contrast around the back and on the sides, and they're full length. And here are the line drawings. I don't know if you can see those very well. And I used the same fabric, but I changed what was the main fabric. Like the purple is the main fabric of the shirt and the blue is the accent, so I did the opposite for my athletic leggings, and here they are. I'm so tickled with these as well. This one I used the navy for the main and the purple for the accent, and they have these really cool deep pockets right here, which I love. And here's the really neat design on the back. And then here's the rest of the front. And then I added hem bands across the bottom, of course, and I wanted to show you the, I don't know if you can see the stitching for the pocket. It is navy, and I could get all fancy and say that I used contrast stitching for that, which it is, but the reason I used the contrast stitching is because I was too lazy to change my thread color. I already had the navy in to do the binding on the pocket, and the binding on the pocket and sewing across this pocket were the only seams I was going to do on my regular machine. The rest I did with my serger, so I was too lazy to change my thread color from navy to purple, so I just left it navy. So contrast stitching on the pockets, but I cut out the length for the longest length that the pattern has, which is an extra large. So the length of the legs is an extra large length, and then I added a 2-inch cuff, and that turned out to be the perfect length. So here's a picture of me wearing them so you can see what they look like on. And I also wanted to show you this waistband construction. I just assumed from the looking at the pattern that it would be like a yoga style waistband, which it is the style, but it has an added, you actually put, I think it's a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch elastic across the top. So I thought that was interesting, and I wasn't expecting that. I was wondering why you couldn't just do the yoga waistband, but oh well, they're comfy and I like them a lot. And the next thing I'd like to share is this groovy color blocked shirt. It's Butterick from 1992, and I made view C. And if you watched my plans video, you know I was going to use the fabric I had left over from my Sew Maxi for Mother's Day dress, and I didn't have much left over, but I had enough to make this shirt, and I'm so tickled with it. And here it is in this fun, of course, different colored stripes, and then the solid orange, which I think is perfect for color blocking. And then here's the back, and it has this really sweet keyhole opening, and I didn't realize until I was about halfway through making the shirt that it had that. So that was a surprise. And they wanted you to do a rouleau loop or thread loop for the button, but why would you do that when you already have cord elastic in your stash? Cord elastic or elastic cord, I'm not sure how to say that. So I just cut a small piece of it and hand stitched it on, and I stitched it to the back so you couldn't see the stitches in the front, and then I used a contrasting little pink button. Oh, here's the back, and here's the front. And I mentioned in my plans video that I might try doing one set of stripes going vertical and one set going horizontal, but as I was getting ready to cut my fabric out, I didn't have a lot of fabric. I just had scraps left over, so I wasn't sure if I would have enough to do that. And also I was afraid because of the grain line. Obviously the grain line goes this way for the stripes, and I was afraid to try to do it the other way because I thought it might affect the way the shirt would hang if the grain lines were different for the knit. So I just did the stripes going the same direction, but I think that's really fun. And this is going to be my entry for the t-shirt for summer 2021. So I really love this. I think it's really retro looking, and it's really comfortable and soft, and here are pictures of me wearing it so you can see what it looks like on. And back to that Butterick shirt I just showed, I wanted to show you a couple of the pattern pieces because I thought they were really unique. Here is one of the upper front pieces, and look at this interesting cutout right there, that curve. I thought that was kind of funky. I had never seen that before. Thought that was really neat. And also, let me show you the upper back piece, pattern piece. This part right here that's sticking out is the back facing, and I just think that is so cool that they have it attached to the entire pattern piece. I like that a lot. It saves a lot of steps, and I wonder why more pattern companies don't do that. They have it already attached to the piece instead of having a separate facing piece that you have to cut out and sew together and all that. So I thought that was really neat. The next thing I'd like to share could be one of my favorite makes ever thus far, and it is the Skylar Raglan Hoodie by Sinclair Patterns. And here are the line drawings. It has different hoodie styles and necklines, and I opted for the cowl neckline, but I omitted the grommets and the drawstring because I have a couple tops like that have the grommets and the drawstrings, and I never use that, so I wanted to save some steps, money, and time by omitting those. And I thought it's really neat. The pattern comes with a coloring sheet, so you can decide what colors you want where. And here is my raglan hoodie. I love it so much. Is it weird to love a hoodie so much? I do. I can't help it. I was so excited as this was coming together, and after I made it, and I was actually giddy after I tried it on. I loved it so much. You would think that I made a pair of ginger jeans or something. And just look at all the fun colors. And I love a cowl. I think it's a little more feminine than an actual hood on a sweatshirt, although there are places for literal hoodies, but I just prefer this look. And look at the shaping right here that it gives you, and there's pockets. And I really like the way this comes in right here, because cuffs, and here's the cowl, and here's the back. And I just love all the different colors, and it's really soft and comfy to wear. And if you saw my plans video, I had initially picked out yellow to go where this watermelon color is, and I'd already had all the other pieces cut out except the yellow. And when I was going to cut out the yellow, when I unfolded it, it was see-through. It was so sheer. So I knew that wouldn't work. A, it was going to be right here, and you don't want see-through right there, and B, it wouldn't even be warm. And I really couldn't think of anything that I would ever be able to use that for, so I returned it and got this watermelon color instead, which I absolutely love. And I really like Sinclair patterns, and I just discovered them when I was looking for a hoodie pattern, because they have a tall option. And it's not just that the sleeves are longer, but everything proportionately is designed for talls. And I did not have to lengthen anything, which was helpful. And I do plan on making more. And I'll insert pictures of me wearing it so you can see what it looks like on. The next thing I like to share, you actually picked the fabric for me, and I had so much fun doing that, and thank you to everyone who voted. And it was between two sheets that I got from a thrift store. One was predominantly navy and the other one was predominantly pink, and you guys overwhelmingly picked the navy, so thanks so much for participating. and I'm planning on in my future plans videos to have a viewer's choice in something I'm making. It might be which pattern you want me to make or which fabric you want me to use or something like that. So be looking for that in my July plans, and be sure and participate and vote. But you can probably see behind me what won. But I made the Seaside Culottes by Rad Patterns, and here are the line drawings. And this is the Sew Together pattern for June that Lindsay from Inside the Hem does. If you're not participating in that, I encourage you to do so. It's lots of fun. But anyway, you guys picked the navy, and here are my culottes. Love these so much. Although I have a funny story. This is the second pair I made. The first pair I made, I didn't make any adjustments to the rise or anything, which I knew better. I should have done that. But I made them, and when I put them on, they came to like right here, like really, really low on my hips. I mean, I actually laughed. It was funny. And I knew I wasn't going to wear that. So thankfully, I had 2 sheets. So I had enough fabric to make another pair. So when I made my second pair, I added 3 inches to the rise, and those turned out perfectly. And I love culottes. They look like a skirt, but they aren't. And then to go with them for a faux romper look, I mentioned in my plans video that I wanted to make another Ashton top. This is my 4th one that I've made, and I have a tutorial how to make it on my YouTube channel if you want to check that out. Here are the line drawings, and I made the longer version. And Helen from Helen's Closet came out with a sleeve expansion pack, and there are regular short sleeves, regular long sleeves, a petal sleeve, and a butterfly sleeve option. And I chose the butterfly sleeve option, and here's my Ashton top to go with my culottes for a faux romper look, or I could wear them separately, of course. Love, love, love this pattern. So thank you so much to everyone who picked out my fabric for me. You guys did a great job. And here are pictures of me wearing my faux romper so you can see what it looks like on. I'd like to share is McCall's 8042, the Mia McCalls, and I made this version, short sleeves, and here are the line drawings of all the different versions. And this was not part of my plans video either, because at the time I made the video I wasn't planning on making this. But my YouTube friend Linda asked me if I would look into this pattern and possibly doing a sew along, because the front bodice piece is a little bit mind-boggling. So I told her I would look into it, and when the patterns went on sale for $1.99, I grabbed this, and looking through it I thought it was something that I would be able to do a sew along for, and I did. So check that out on my channel if you're interested in making it. And here's mine. This is a cotton shirting fabric that I got from Joann. Blue and with white polka dots. Polka dots are one of my favorite things. And you make a casing around the neckband and a drawstring, and pull the drawstring through, and it gives this little ruffled look. And you do have little sweet ruffles on the sleeves. Just show you the whole thing. And here's the back. And I mentioned this in my sew along for it, but it has a really deep split in the front, so I wear a tank top underneath this. So here's a picture of me wearing it so you can see what it looks like on. And the next thing I'd like to share is the pattern that was in the June thread crate box. If you haven't seen that unboxing, I will put it right here in case you're interested. And it's Style Sew Me, the Mesa pants or shorts. And here are the line drawings. And I have a tutorial on my channel for how to make this. If you'd like to check that out, I highly recommend it. And here are my shorts, and this is also the fabric that was in the thread crate box. It's a linen rayon blend. This gorgeous olive color that I love. It's a neutral, goes with most anything, and it has these fun pockets on the front and a belt and a paper bag style waist that's elastic, 2 belt loops. There's 1 belt loop on the back. And I added 3 inches to the rise of these, and they fit me perfectly. And here's a picture of me wearing them so you can see what they look like on. And there's also, as you saw, you can make pants as well, and the construction in the tutorial is exactly the same. So if you prefer to make the pants, you can still follow the tutorial to make the pants. And the final thing I'd like to share is also something that was in June's thread crate box, and it is the Leanne laptop and tablet sleeve by Sally Tomato. And this was a kit that came in a thread crate box. And we had enough fabric to do the tablet sleeve in this faux leather. And here's mine. Super cute. And the kit came with magnetic snaps, but I'm not a fan of having magnets near my electronics, so I just added regular snaps instead. So you open it up and then you put your tablet in there. It's in this gorgeous faux leather. So cute. So that's everything I made in June. I hope you liked everything. I noticed there was a lot of variety this month in different types of garments that I made, and that's how I sew. I don't just mainly sew dresses or tops or bottoms or whatever. I like to mix it up on my July plans, so be looking out for that video, and there's going to be a viewer's choice option in there as well, so be sure and vote. And thanks so much for taking time out of your day to watch my video. If you'd like to see future videos, please subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. See you next time. Bye!